This is the sort of damage that many Gatlinburg residents are coming back to. A house totally leveled right to the ground. You can see the remnants of what was a bustling family life now lying in ruins.
All that's left of this house is smoking remains. A stove that once cooked meals, a file cabinet holding family records, a religious statue standing guard. Ironically, a house on a hilltop above was not damaged. At the Gatlinburg Red Cross Center, I came across David Kendrick, who knows his house is gone. When he left it, the fire was 10 to 12 feet high.
Flames were all around, coming down the banks, on the other side of the street. Flames were coming from everywhere.
Charles Jenkins was rescued by a police officer just before flames devoured the place he called home.
For the grace of God, I'm glad that cop showed up when he did, because if he hadn't, we'd have burned up in it.
But the lack of news about their house is sending Anthony and Tammy Lent on an emotional roller coaster.
My mother's remains are in my house. I just want, comfort. I want comfort. I want to know my house is there and my house is gone. That's all I need to know.
The Lents are among thousands who escaped injury with a lot of luck.
We watched the fire. It was chasing us. It was like driving through hell. It was scary. It was the scariest thing I've ever been through.
Sandra Mayfield has seen a lot in her lifetime, but admits living through a wildfire is at the top of her list.
I've been through Hurricane Andrew to Hurricane Katrina, and I've been through tornadoes, and never once have I been evacuated like this. Never once.
The only piece of good news in all this is the heavy rain that's blanketing the Gatlinburg area, making it easier for firefighters to get this blaze under control. Tom McKee, 9 on your side, Gatlinburg. Well, dozens of dogs and cats, you can hear a lot of them, have been brought here to the temporary shelter of the Sevier County Humane Society because their owners can't be found, or in many cases, they can't be taken care of right now. And that includes this little guy right here, this Penny's holding. They've nicknamed this guy Cinder because his fur's been singed and his paws have been scalded from the heat of that fire. Let me tell you something right now. The support, the outpouring of support for this effort has been totally amazing.
What began as a small idea has blossomed into a huge enterprise. Volunteers have come from all over to help unload trucks of supplies or perform other tasks.
The outpouring of support has been incredible.
Dog food, cat food, and other donated items are stacking up.
We're overwhelmed here, just overwhelmed.
One section of the shelter is for strays brought in by animal control, police officers, or citizens. Another is for what they're calling safe holds.
We know who the owner is. The owner brought them in. The owners have nowhere to live due to lost property, or they don't have a hotel that's willing to take in their pet as well, so those pets are being held here.
There have already been some happy reunions. Humane Society Board President Martha Gilchrist recalled one couple's story.
They saw their little buddy named Sparky on our Facebook, and they said, "That's my dog," and so they came and claimed him, and he was as happy to see them as they were to see him.
Mike Nelson came from Knoxville to lend whatever help he could.
Pets are part of a family, and that's what drives us, and that we make sure that every dog goes into a good home that we adopt out, and we know that there's great people around here, so we came down from Knoxville to help them out.
Well, the biggest need right now is not more supplies of dog food and other items. It's for donations of money, so vets can take care of little guys like Willie right here. Tom McKee, 9 on your side, live at Sevierville.
Logan Baker, Krista Forden, and Ethan Baker sat quietly on a couch Wednesday, recalling the fire that surrounded the Park Vista Hotel Monday. The flames trapped them for 13 hours before they could get out. Look at these pictures Logan shot showing how close the flames were to the building.
I took the videos because I didn't know if we were going to make it.
The massive flames against the restaurant that were just a pane of glass separating us from that wildfire. That was horrifying.
But it was the heavy smoke that was so thick they had to lie together on the ground.
It was so hard to breathe. And at that point, I was a little afraid. I was more afraid, and I didn't think that we were going to make it because we were all barely breathing.
I knew that we were probably not going to make it.
That's when Krista wrote a note to the family in case they didn't get out alive.
we were cuddled together. We weren't afraid. It was a very calm and quiet environment, and we were at peace.
But she never told the boys about it.
I didn't know about the note, and if I knew at the time, it would have terrified me because I was so worried that we were not going to make it.
Suddenly the smoke lifted, and this trio was able to safely flee and reunite with other family members.
We sat up for a minute, and we were like, we might just make it through this. That was just going from 1 minute to the next. That's how close, feeling like we were going to die, and then hearing that sound really, and not knowing, is this the end? And then having that instant relief.
Well, there are still lots of restrictions on getting into Gatlinburg tonight. This is the Pigeon Forge-Gatlinburg border, and you can see the road behind me is closed. It's Route 321 that many of you back home in Cincinnati have used to get to Gatlinburg in the past. It's the road that Kristen Forden and her sons Ethan and Logan Baker took to the Park Vista Hotel on Monday when 85-mile-an-hour winds surrounded the place and left them thinking that their lives were over. Now, this is the video that Logan shot of the flames as they consumed the hotel. Look at those pictures. Guests had just seconds to try to get out with only what they were wearing. Things got so bad that this mother and sons left a note giving their names in case they didn't make it. Robin Baker was at home in Walton and quickly drove the 5 hours to Pigeon Forge to see his daughter and grandsons.
They said the smoke was coming in so bad that they had to get down on the floor and couldn't hardly see. And then my daughter told me that she actually wrote papers out with the boys' names and age and where they were from in case they died from smoke inhalation. It was terrible, but God was with them, and I just know that He was there to take care of them.
Well, Logan, who you see here, and their mother are expected to recover from smoke inhalation. They were too tired today to go on camera. Back here live in Pigeon Forge, you can see the low-hanging smoke over some of the hills as we get into dusk here in Pigeon Forge. We've seen Air National Guard helicopters come in getting water from Dollywood and taking it back into the area where fires are still burning. A couple of notes for those who frequent this area quite a bit. Gatlinburg is okay. Ripley's Aquarium, okay. It was evacuated last night. Dollywood is okay as well, the park. But some of the cabins at the Dreammore area were destroyed by these fires that hit the Gatlinburg Pigeon Forge area. Not an all clear yet, but things are much better than they were at this time last night. Tom McKee, not on your side, live on Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg border in Tennessee. Firefighters from all over the southeastern U.S. have descended upon Gatlinburg, helping this community put out the flames that have ravaged the tourist town.
Fire trucks continued to stream into Gatlinburg Tuesday night. National Guard helicopters carried water to douse flames. Route 321 remained closed except for emergency vehicles. The Red Cross staffed shelters in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. That helped people like Rex Haney and Clint Laverne, who had just left jobs at the Westgate Resort when fire swept in.
As I'm heading back to my place of stay, I see the flames heading toward the resort on the right, and it was tragic. It's insane.
Undescribable, you know, because I didn't want to get caught in the fire or in the smoke, you know. But it was just an all feeling of watching this and seeing everything burn around you.
Michelle Stewart remembers opening her blinds at the Westgate and coming face to face with a wall of flame that produced unpleasant thoughts.
At that point, about dying. We were either going to die on that hill or we were going to get off, one of the two.
Over 100 Gatlinburg buildings were damaged, but many popular tourist attractions were spared. The Park Vista Hotel was lost, as captured in these incredible images taken by Logan Baker of Walton. There was so much fire that Logan, his brother and mother, even wrote a note with their names in case they didn't get out alive.
God was with them, and I just know that He was there to take care of them.
It's still not clear when residents are going to be able to get back to their homes, and people who have been visiting the area can find out what's left of their rental properties. Tom McKee, Night on Your Side, Gatlinburg.